Once upon a time there was a sweet little maiden. Whoever laid eyes upon her couldn't help but love her, but it was her grandmother who could never give the child enough. One day she made her a present, a small red velvet cap, and since it was so becoming, and the maiden always wanted to wear it, people only called her Little Red Cap. One day her mother said to her, "Come, Little Red Cap, take this piece of cake and bottle of wine and bring them to your grandmother. She's sick and weak, and this will strengthen her. Be nice and good and greet her from me. Go directly there and don't stray from the path, otherwise you'll fall and break the glass, and your grandmother will get nothing." Little Red Cap promised to obey her mother. Well, the grandmother lived out in the forest, half an hour from the village, and as soon as Little Red Cap entered the forest, she encountered the wolf. However, Little Red Cap didn't know what a wicked sort of animal he was, and was not afraid of him. "Good day, Little Red Cap," he said. "Thank you kindly, wolf." "Where are you going so early, Little Red Cap?" "To grandmother's." "What are you carrying under your apron?" "Cake and wine. My grandmother's sick and weak, and yesterday we baked this cake so it will help her get well." "Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Cap?" "About a quarter of an hour from here in the forest. Her house is under the 3 big oak trees. You can tell it by the hazel bushes," said Little Red Cap. The wolf thought to himself, "What a juicy morsel she'll be for me. Now, how am I going to catch her?" Then he said, "Listen, Little Red Cap, haven't you seen the beautiful flowers growing in the forest? Why don't you look around? I believe you haven't even noticed how lovely the birds are singing. You march along as if you were going straight to school in the village, and yet it's so delightful out here in the woods." Little Red Cap looked around and saw that the sun had broken through the trees, and that the woods were full of beautiful flowers. So she thought to herself, "If I bring grandmother a bunch of flowers, she'd certainly like that. It's still early, and I'll arrive on time." So she plunged into the woods to look for flowers, and each time she plucked one, she thought she saw another, even prettier flower and ran after it, going deeper and deeper into the forest. But the wolf went straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. "Who's there?" "Little Red Cap. I've brought you some cake and wine. Open up." "Just lift the latch," the grandmother called. "I'm too weak and can't get up." The wolf lifted the latch, and the door sprang open. Then he went straight to the grandmother's bed and gobbled her up. Next he took her clothes, put them on along with her nightcap, lay down in her bed and drew the curtains. Meanwhile, Little Red Cap had been running around and looking for flowers, and only when she had as many as she could carry did she continue on the way to her grandmother. She was puzzled when she found the door open, and as she entered the room, it seemed so strange inside that she thought, "Oh, my God, how frightened I feel today, and usually I like to be at grandmother's." Then she went to the bed and drew back the curtains. There lay her grandmother with her cap pulled down over her face, giving her a strange appearance. "Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have! The better to hear you with." "Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have! The better to see you with." "Oh, grandmother, what big hands you have! The better to grab you with." "Oh, grandmother, what a terribly big mouth you have! The better to eat you with." No sooner did the wolf say that than he jumped out of the bed and gobbled up poor Little Red Cap. After the wolf had the fat chunks in his body, he lay down in bed again, fell asleep, and began to snore very loudly. The huntsman happened to be passing by the house and thought to himself, "The way the old woman's snoring, you'd better see if something's wrong." He went into the room, and when he came to the bed, he saw the wolf lying in it. He had been searching for the wolf a long time and thought that the beast had certainly eaten the grandmother. "Perhaps she can still be saved," he said to himself. "I won't shoot." So he took some scissors and cut open the wolf's belly. After he made a couple of cuts, he saw the Little Red Cap shining forth, and after he made a few more cuts, the girl jumped out and exclaimed, "Oh, how frightened I was! It was so dark in the wolf's body." Soon the grandmother emerged alive. Little Red Cap quickly fetched some large heavy stones, and they filled the wolf's body with them. When he awoke and tried to run away, the stones were so heavy that he fell down at once and died. All three were delighted. The huntsman skinned the fur from the wolf. The grandmother ate the cake and drank the wine that Little Red Cap had brought, and Little Red Cap thought to herself, "Never again will you stray from the path by yourself and go into the forest when your mother has forbidden it."